Okay, thanks for being here today. Obviously, tough loss Saturday. Hats off to Southern Miss. I thought those guys played well, and end up making enough plays to come out in the end. Really proud of how our guys fought, being down 14-0, come back and tie the game, and then later on take the lead. I really thought that showed a lot about our team, our character, and this team's will to keep fighting to the end, which is pretty typical of a Troy team over the years. And I think this team's no different. And I was very impressed with that. We had great leadership on our sideline. Our guys stayed together, and there was really not anybody over there who didn't believe we were going to make enough plays to get back in the game, and we did. And so I was really pleased with that. Obviously, it was a shootout, but I'll say we had plenty of opportunities on offense to help win the game. I mean, we punted 5 times the first 2 series. We went 3 and out, which looking back was a huge part of the game. And then we had 3 other opportunities throughout the game where we either got a penalty or didn't make a play to extend drives. And in these kind of games where teams are up and down the field with good skill players on both sides, every possession is so critical. And at the end of the day, we just didn't make enough plays to help our defense there. And I think too, our fans were unbelievable Saturday. It was the 5th largest crowd, I think, in the history from what I've been told, and you could hear them. They were loud. I appreciate the fans being here and doing what they usually do, and that's show up and pull for the Trojans. Also, our student body I thought was fantastic. They were into the game, very engaged, and then at the end, our players went over there and you could see them interact with our student body, which I thought was really impressive. And I think that's something that makes this place special. I think people care about our program. They care about Troy athletics and Troy football. And so I was really pleased with that. Appreciate the students doing what they do every week for us. A couple of injuries I just want to talk through real quick. B.J. Smith, obviously, is going to be out for the season with a knee injury. And obviously that's a huge blow to us. He's a great player, but even better person and a big leader on our team. He'll still be a very good leader for us and do all the things. But obviously we're heartbroken over that. But at the same time, this college football and next man's got to be ready, and we have some guys that'll get some opportunities now. But wish BJ the best in his recovery, and hopefully get him back healthy as quick as we can. Although we won't get him for the season for sure. DeMontrez Brown's another guy that he's another guy that's going to be out for the season. He was injured Campbell. We were kind of hoping it wasn't as serious as it was, but looking back now, it's surgery, and he's going to miss the season as well. So we've lost those 2 guys, and obviously we'll miss these 2 young men tremendously. They're both great kids and great people, and they'll be back, I'm sure, stronger than ever. Inside our program players of the week on offense, Caleb Barker was our player of the week. Obviously, he had a great game. He was 29 of 43, 504 yards, 4 touchdowns. Really did a nice job running the offense. Checked us into some good plays a couple times when he's got those options. Also, didn't throw any interceptions, which is critical when you throw the ball that much and not put the ball in jeopardy. I thought he made great decisions. He moved around well in the pocket and out of the pocket and extended plays, which is a big part of his game, and really pleased with him. He was also named, obviously, Sunbelt Offensive Player of the Week as well. Defensively, Will Cholo was our Defensive Player of the Week. Now, he had 9 tackles. I think he had 2 or 3 solos and 7 or 8. I'm not sure exactly how it worked out, but assists. But really disrupted, I thought, at times, especially in their run game, and really did a nice job controlling the line of scrimmage. Obviously we know what kind of player he is, and he's impacting the game every week. So excited about him. Special Teams Player of the Week this week was Reggie Todd. Reggie had a 70-yard kickoff return after the penalty, and so that was a huge play for us at that time. So really pleased with those 3 guys. There were other guys that were well-deserving for sure. We had 4 wideouts with over 100 yards and receiving. Any one of those 4 could have been named as well. And then we had several guys on defense who had, good games as far as tackles and so forth goes. So, overall disappointed we lost for sure. But like we said going in the week, this is 2 good football teams. It was going to be a 4-quarter game. We knew that, which, we were trying to prepare our guys for that. And, our goal was to go out and play as good as we could play, lay it all on the line, see where we are, evaluate, and now get ready for the next one. So I thought our players did that. I thought they played extremely hard, handled themselves well, handled adversity well, which I think are good things to build on for the rest of the season. Akron, this week we have Akron on the road. Obviously a big challenge for us just because it's the first road game, if anything. a long trip and all the things that go along with handling that. Akron is a team with a new head coach, new excitement, new energy, obviously a new staff, everything that comes with that. Akron over the years has had some really good players come through there. I know Charlie Fry's a quarterback, I believe was a first-round pick or a really, really high draft pick in the NFL. And I think three or 4 years ago they won the MAC championship. So they've had success there. Tom Arth is their head coach. Been very impressed with looking back on what he's done at John Carroll as well as UT Chattanooga. I think he's a guy that is an offensive head coach that definitely you can see his fingerprints on the offense. Former NFL player, well coached. Defensively, those guys I think play extremely hard and run to the football. Very similar to Southern Miss in a lot of respects that present you different looks and so forth, and I know they'll play with great passion, and we're playing at their place, and it's a big game for us. We need to respond, we need to rebound, and we need to go on the road and play well. If we don't have any chance in our conference, we've got to go play well on the road, and I think our players understand that. Offensively, a couple guys that I know, the quarterback, Cato Nelson, I think he started for almost 3 years, was on the MAC championship team as a freshman. Very impressed with him. I think he's right now the 6th or 7th leading passer in school history there, which includes guys like Charlie Fry, as I mentioned earlier. Very impressed with him. I think that staff is doing a great job with him doing what they want to do on offense. 2 wideouts were impressive. Dustin Burkhardt, I think, is a guy we have to know where he's at, as well as Andre Williams. Those are 2 guys that make plays for him, and 2 guys that we're going to have a really good plan for. Defensively, Alvin Davis is a corner. He started for like 32 straight games for these guys, so he's their leader in that secondary. He is a guy that has been on some watch lists, some Thorpe watch list award winners and things of that nature. So he's a very impressive guy. Plays the ball in the air well, does a great job in coverage. So we're going to have to make sure that we know where he's at as well. John Lako, I believe is how you pronounce it, is a linebacker that some of our guys even remember from the time we played him here several years ago. So he's always around the ball, plays extremely hard, tackles well. He's in my mind one of their better linebackers. So those guys right there kind of lead their defense. Special teams, they got a returner. Jeremiah Knight has the ability to be really good returner. Michael Matheson has actually had 2 big returns. I think they're ranked somewhere like 6th in the country in kickoff return. So obviously that bit us last week, so we're going to have to make sure we do a great job and have a great plan for him. And their kicker, I think, is fantastic. He kicks the ball deep in the end zone. They've had 1 return. Jeremy Fitchen, I think is how you pronounce his name, got a big leg. He also does their kickoffs and plays kicking duties. So very solid. I know they're a team that's with a new staff, so probably some learning going on back and forth as any new staff goes through. But very, very capable of playing really well. They've played 3 good teams so far. Illinois being in Power 5, Central Michigan's got a good team, and I think UAB's got a really solid team. So they've played a good schedule. The record will not deceive us. We understand that this is going to be a pretty good football team on the road, and we're going to have to be ready to play, or we're going to be really disappointed. But really excited to get back to practice today. I think it's important for us to get out there and have a really good work day, kind of lock in, go back to work. Sometimes you have a big game, doesn't go your way, and you kind of got the hangover from that. But I think our guys from Sunday night, just watching them run around and our meetings on Sunday, I think they understand that where we need to improve and how we need to practice to get where we need to be. And I think they're excited about getting back on the field. All right, any questions?
Can you provide, go ahead. Can you provide some perspective since you came on the campus about DK Billingsley and your
very, very impressed with DK. DK had a great spring for us. I mentioned him, I'm sure, to most of you during the spring. DK is a fantastic kid, very knowledgeable, smart football player. DK has already had a big role on our team, obviously playing with BJ, so he'll get a little more of the load now for sure, and we're confident he can do a great job. Not to say anybody can replace BJ for sure, but we know we're going to have multiple guys ready to play, but really, really pleased with DK's progress.
Well, and right along those lines, Fry and Woods, I think, were both dinged up a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk about those guys and how you're viewing the depth at running back.
Well, we're hoping that those guys won't be out long. We don't know yet, kind of day to day, but we definitely need those guys to get healthy and play for us. And then we've got, Trevon Warfoot, we got him, we got some other guys that are waiting on their opportunities that, it is what it is. It's the next man up kind of attitude. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us about anything. We got to be ready to play, and that's kind of our goal for this week.
So, Coach, the loss to BJ is definitely big, but early in the season, is there talks about potentially next year him coming back because it was so early with red shirt?
Yeah, it's probably too early to we hadn't even really talked about it. Just trying to get over the shock of him being injured. Obviously, he doesn't have a red shirt year, so I feel pretty good about it, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Definitely would take him back for sure.
And does that change him not being available? Does that change your approach at anything, or does the next man up, and you approach things the same way?
I mean, I think we have five running backs on scholarship, so hopefully we can get a couple of these guys that are banged up and injured a little bit back. Maybe they're not serious. That's what we're praying for and hoping for. If not, we'll move on with the next guy, and we'll have to make adjustments. That's what I think coaching is about. Being a high school coach, you lose your best player, you got to figure a way to do it, and I think that's a little bit of our background, a lot of us. So we're not going to make any excuses. We're going to find a way to coach our team and try to get them to play as best we can, and hopefully we'll get some guys back that are banged up and be just fine.
Your quarterback got obviously a lot of praise after this game, even though it was a loss. It was really a shootout. What's your confidence level with him now that your star running back went down, that he's coming off one of his best games in his career?
Yeah, very confident. Caleb always have been. He's shown great poise and understanding of our offense and all the responsibility that's on him as a quarterback in our system. So hopefully he'll continue to improve and get better. That's what we're hoping each week. I think he's done that so far, and obviously we'll need it for him to. He may not always throw for that many yards, and that's okay. It all goes back to the opportunities that are presented to us by the defense, and I think he's doing a nice job right now of taking what they give us and where our matchups are and so forth. So really pleased with him so far, and obviously we want him to continue to progress.
On Saturday, you had all those young defensive backs back there running around. A lot of them hadn't had a lot of work, but you see Jacquez Dunmore with 7 tackles, T.J. Harris with 6. Can you speak to their level of your level of confidence as to the
Sure.
progression they'll make?
Well, they are fantastic kids, and they're getting an opportunity to play maybe earlier than they hoped or thought. Maybe I'm sure they all hope to play early, but I'm confident in those guys. We signed those guys and felt like they were going to be good players for us down the road, and they're just having to play a little sooner than we thought. But at the end of the day, each time they get a rep in practice and the games, they're going to improve. They're very capable, and again, we just got to keep trying to help those guys out and get them in situations where they can be successful. And I think that's what we're focusing on now.